It says, moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found what? Faithful. Shout faithful. Faithful. Amen. Somebody say faithful. Faithful. Luke 16, verses 10 through 13, it says, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. Excuse me. Let me read it off here. I think I wrote it down. It says, he that is faithful in which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in what? Much. Come on, keep going. It says, if therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to what? To your trust, the true riches. Come on. And then he says, and if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? So some of y'all who are aspiring to be business owners, it would behoove you to be faithful over another man's business. When you're not faithful over another man's business, you understand what I'm saying? So let's be technical here. The government says the church is a business. You need to be faithful over my business. Because it's registered in my name, but it's his business. So that's why Jesus, even when he referred to kingdom work, when they was talking in John chapter 9, if you remember in John chapter 9, they said, who sent this man or his parents? He said, didn't nobody sin? He's blind so that I can work the work of him who sent me while it is day. Because when the night cometh, no man can work. He says, so I have to be about my Father's business. Am I talking to the right people? You got to remember that the church is his bride, is his business. And you got to take care of the Father's business so that he can give you your own. A lot of your success business-wise, matter of fact, all of your success business-wise is connected to how you handle somebody else's business. That's why you need to be on time to work. And when I say on time, I ain't talking about it start at 8 and you get there at 8. I'm talking about like my son. You know, I love my son, Travion. He the other day he was getting ready to go to work and he don't play. You know, this man is a disciplined young fella here. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. You must have been at the house, but you was there. Listen, he had to go to work, I think at 6. He was on his way to work at 5. I said, Travion, it ain't gonna take you but 10 minutes to get there. He said, I don't want to be late and I don't want to rush when I get there. I want to be able to relax, get myself a snack and a drink. And I know what he was really saying is, I want to make sure my mind is right so I can handle these people's business with excellence. Some of y'all, the reason why you got an attitude when you get to work is because you fought all the way to get there. Come on. Y'all ain't going to say nothing. You mean to tell me if a teenager who just graduated from high school can understand the principle of handling and taking care of somebody else's business, y'all ain't going to tell me. You mean to tell me us adults can't get the revelation? What time do church start? 10. Somebody say, handle your business. Because it's handling his business when you respect his time and you are where you're supposed to be when you are supposed to be. And the truth of the matter is, you don't know what you're missing by being late. Now, I know you've deceived yourself to believe, God had me late, so I missed out on the accident. How about maybe you late and you missed out on a promotion? How about maybe you late and you missed out on some supernatural increase he wanted to do, but he couldn't do it to you because as a steward, as a manager, you're not handling your business. If the world understands that promotion comes from people being faithful, then how much more did every blood-bought believer, it don't got quiet now. It don't got quiet now. Let me just read it again. And if ye are not faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? Now watch 13. Watch 13. Come on. It says, no servant can serve two masters. For either he will what? Look how powerful this. He will what? Hate the one. And then love what? Or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Put this verse in the New Living Translation so we can make sure it's a little bit clearer. No one can serve two masters, for you will either what? You will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and what? I want to make sure that's clear. Somebody say it's a matter of the heart. That's the little title we're going to work from today. It's a matter of the heart. You cannot serve both. You can't serve God and you can't serve money. In this passage, Yeshua is saying that if you cannot be trusted with something as temporal and fleeting as money. He is not going to trust you with the truly valuable things of the Spirit. And if you've not proven faithful with little, we will never be entrusted with much. Amen. Hello? Amen. Hello? When I get $1 million, I'm going to give. No, you're not. You won't give off 10. I know. Listen, we've been teaching on stewardship, so we don't cover your talent. We don't cover your time. We got to cover every aspect. We got to teach you stewardship with balance. I know y'all don't like to talk about money, but everybody in here needs it. Say you don't need it, and I'm going to tell you that you're telling a fib. I was going to say lie, but I'll be nice today and say fib. My grandmother would say, don't you say lie. Don't you say it. That's cussing. And then as soon as I do something, she says, stop lying. I want to be like, you cussing. How come when I say it, it's cussing? Listen. Yeshua then tells us that you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money. You can't serve the Most High and serve money. Now, here's the thing we need to do. When you get a chance and you get home, I hope you guys read when you get home. And don't overlook the fact that these 4 verses are sandwiched, or these few verses are sandwiched between 2 parables. So not only of the unjust steward, but also of Lazarus and the rich man. But this passage is sandwiched between 2 parables, and both of the parables talk about how wise or foolish someone is here on earth, and how they use their money here, and how they use it here, and how it speaks to eternity. Both parables talk about how people use their money here on earth and how it speaks to eternity. Man. Both parables deal directly with money. I told y'all before, close to half of Jesus' teachings through parables, out of the 38, almost half of them are about money. Are you here? Amen. And we know that both of these parables directly deal with money. We know this from verse 14. Watch this. It says, the Pharisees who dearly loved their what? Come on, y'all. The Pharisees who dearly loved their what? Money. Heard all this and did what? What is a scoffer? I was hoping somebody shouted it out. What is a scoffer? To grimace, to mock. All the scoffers, they scoffed him, they mocked him. Why? Because they loved their money. The same reason why some of y'all getting tight every time we say money. Man, don't be talking about that. I don't want to hear that. You know why? Because you love your money. You don't want nobody to tell you what to do with your money. That's why some of y'all, when people start talking about budgeting, you get upset. That's why people who are married argue over money, because usually one spouse don't want to deal with the issue of money. But if you don't deal with the issue of the money, money going to deal with you. Almost between 38 and 50% of divorces take place over money issues, because don't nobody want to talk about it. It's usually one person that gets upset. And let me tell you why they get upset. Y'all want to hear this? I'm going to tell you from experience, not what I read in a book. Because when you are a man and you're ego-driven, I said evil, but that's still evil. You're ego-driven, which if you take this as an acronym, ego, E-G-O, edging God out. Yes. When you edge him out, are you listening? And the truth is, my wife, she'd be like, okay, we got to pay this and pay this. And she said, what did you do with your money? And I'd just be like, don't worry about that. What I need to pay. Because the truth is, I was spending money before I made it. Amen. I know ain't got nobody that know I was spending money before I made it. Some of y'all in here, your bank accounts is negative every other week. It don't get right until your check get deposited and you paying and spending money that could have went to something else. Yes. How many men remember we did the Joshua men thing, and when we covered the money piece, I said, I want you to go back a year, and I want you to get your transaction stuff from the bank, your slips, and I want you to look through it, and I want to see how many times your account was negative and how much you paid in late fees. And then we did it for a year, and then we did it for 4 years. And in 4 years, one person had over $18,000 worth of money they gave away. There was almost nobody in the room that didn't have close to 5 figures in money over 4 years that they gave away because they would not manage their money. They don't want to talk about money. They don't want nobody to preach on money. And listen, most of y'all in here, if you are a woman, I'm not saying every woman is disciplined with their money, but if you are in a marriage and you got a guy that won't talk about money and won't sit down and just what you need, and I don't know where my money went. The truth is, I didn't know because I was filling my car with gas, not making sure I was balancing my books. I'll talk to somebody else. I had a terrible relationship with money. Part of it was because I grew up and I never had to deal with money. My mom didn't sit me down and teach me how to handle money. And my grandmother didn't, because she just, everything that I had going on, she fixed it with money. Oh, you got in trouble in school. I'm going to give you 40, 50, 60. I was like, maybe I should get in trouble one more time. This is my dad, mom. And I think a lot of times she did that because she felt guilty about me and my father's relationship, so she always fixed everything with money. For 10 or 12 years, I was their only grandchild. I was my aunt's and uncle's only nephew, so everybody just threw money at me. When Christmas time would come around when I was a kid, it'd be 200-300 gifts under the Christmas tree for one person. I'd be unwrapping stuff all day. Never mind. My grandmother started asking me in August, what you want for Christmas? And it would never be a time that I would tell her what I want and I didn't get it. So I didn't even have respect for money. I'm so conscious of money now, I even make sure all my bills are in numerical order facing the same way in my wallet. I went to this teaching where this guy did on talking about respecting money. He said, you got to even be careful how you handle it if you respect it. I looked in my wallet, my money was all over. I said, hold on, let me get there. There's a lot of people, you would not even be arguing in your marriages if you both were on the same page when it comes to money. Y'all ain't going to say amen. You would be able to go to the car lot and get a car. If come on, y'all. Never mind. So he talks about this parable. He says they scoffed at him because they didn't want nobody telling them what to do with their money or how to handle their money. Are y'all here? They were lovers of money. Somebody holler, it's a matter of the heart. I want to talk about, I'm going to give you 4 things to think about. Think about money in these 4 simple terms. Number 1, when it comes to money and your relationship with the Most High, it's a trust. Some of y'all, you don't need, never mind. Never mind. It don't matter. You're right, Father. Yep. It's a trust. It's something the Most High is entrusted to our care, something which belongs to Him, but which He has given us to invest on His behalf. Somebody say it's a trust. Put up 1 Chronicles 29 and 14 in the new NIV. 1 Chronicles 29, 14. Not Corinthians, Chronicles. Come on, real quick, please. It says, watch this. This is David speaking. But who am I and who are my people that we should be able to give as generously as this? Everything, somebody holler, everything comes from you. Who is the you he's speaking of? The Most High. And we have given you only what comes from your hand. Let me try that again. It says, but who am I and who are my people that we should be able to give as generously as this? Everything comes from you. Say everything comes from you. And we have given you only what comes from your hand. When I give, I'm only giving what the Most High has entrusted me with. Amen. It's a matter of trust. Amen. It all comes from Him. I told you before when we was talking about your time and things like this. I tell you what, most of us in here, we understand we exchange time for money. Right. right? That's the reason why when people play with your money, you don't waste no time. Let me talk to somebody that's going to be real. You don't waste no... I'll put it to you this way. You ever bought something for your kids and they tore it up and you start talking about how hard you worked and all you had to do and you don't know the overtime I put in? The kids is looking at you like, okay, right? And and I'm telling you, and you don't, and why you're so upset is because I took my time and exchanged it for money. My back is hurting, my legs are hurting. Y'all ain't gonna help me. Am I talking to the right people? I had to deal with these folk at my job talking crazy, keep my mouth shut, and you took this toy that I bought that you just had to have. Look like if you had to have it, you wouldn't have tore it up in the first week. Are you hearing what I'm saying? See, my mom didn't play that, so I didn't tear stuff up. I was able to give my stuff away, my clothes away. I told y'all before, I was getting ready to get in a fight coming home from school one day, and I asked the guy, can I come back? I got to change my school clothes. We gonna fight. Y'all don't know nothing about changing school clothes. Who in here grew up with me and you had to change your school clothes? If I came home and she bought me these white jeans, now that's almost impossible for an elementary cat to wear some white jeans. Man, I'd be in school like, come on, man, man, stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Man, they got sloppy joes. I ain't eating that today. If I don't come home right, grass stains, my mother would almost choke you out for grass stains in your clothes. Man, we'd be in church, and there'd be kids. Antoine, like my cousin right here, he lived with grass stains. He have a full suit on with grass stains all over the suit. And he laughing because he knows it's the truth. And I would say to myself, he going to get killed. But he ain't care. He out in the back. He on the side of the church building. He flipping in the grass. They playing football in the grass between Sunday school and the start of the service. Then we didn't go home back then from church. When church got out at about 3 or 4 o'clock, we was there since 9. We go to Church's Chicken, or we go down to Kentucky Fried Chicken on Main Street, or a host of other places. And while we was there, Antoine is over on Broad Street playing basketball in a church suit and dress shoe, a suit and dress shoe. Am I telling the truth? Am I telling the truth? He comes back, he's sweating out like he preached a revival. And I want to play bad, but I know it's a chokehold waiting for me when I get back. See, so, have you noticed kids don't even change their school clothes no more? My mother be like, I tell you what, when you get home, a couple things you're going to do. First of all, you're going to make sure my house is clean. Second of all, you better make sure you don't have nobody up in here. Because if I catch somebody up in here, oh my God, you don't even understand. Now, I understand. I've seen what you did to other people. Or I've seen the last time you almost killed me. I understand. I'm telling you, it was so bad. And let me tell you something. How life is secular. It's just crazy because my mother said, I don't want you to open the door for. You better not open the door for nobody. My grandmother was knocking on the door. She said, I know you're in there. Open the door. I said, I ain't open the door. My mother said, don't open it for nobody. I'm gonna kill you if you don't open this door. I know you saying that, but I know she gonna kill me. Then I got a whooping because she said I was stupid. How stupid could you be and you didn't open the door for your grandmother? I said, you told me don't open it for nobody. Make up your mind. It's funny, my kids got older. My mother came to the door and Rodney was looking in the window and she was like, open the door. He said, I can't. Open the door. She said, Grandma, I can't. She said, open this door. And she started kicking the door. And he said, I can't open the door. Dad said, don't open the door for nobody. My mother, the only difference is when she called me, she said, I'm going to kick you behind. You going to kick my behind? I'm going to kick you behind. You think you're funny, huh? I was like, man, I'm just going to get it no matter what. I was like, well, what you want me to do? She said, you better call them and tell them to open this door. I said, okay, Rodney, your grandma had the door open. And I said, open the door. He said, I'm not opening the door. Do y'all know he would not open that door? As if he didn't know I was his father on the phone. Somebody say it's a trust. David was thinking like a steward in this passage. He was thinking like a steward, a manager, not an owner. He was saying, listen, all the money I have to give, it came from you anyway. It came from your hand anyway. In other words, I got 100% of what you gave me, and all you're asking me to do is give you back 10. I keep the 90 and tithe and give an offering. Y'all ain't going to talk to me in here. And give an offering off the 90. Why? Because all of it comes from him anyway. And what I'm doing is I'm investing, and I'm making sure that as I give, I'm positioning myself to receive. Somebody holler, it's a matter of the heart.
It's a matter of the heart.
The ideal here is that he will get a good return on his investment. It's a trust. If he trusts us with a little, he will use, and we will use it wisely, he will trust us with more. Somebody say he will trust you with more. This is why, let's see, when you talk about stewardship, the reason why he can promote you and give you the manager position is not because you have the education, but because he can trust you with the money you already got. Because at some point you got a revelation of tithing and you started tithing faithfully and consistently. Y'all ain't gonna help me. Now, if I could be honest, there was a time you had an issue with that. But once you understood that everything belongs for him and came from his hand, it only makes sense that I give him what's his to position myself for more. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So they talking about they looking for a manager. You already the manager. You already know it because he told you before they even did all of what they're doing right now. Somebody said you got to trust them with what belongs to him. But he wants to know if he can trust you and put it in your hand. Somebody say, Lord, put it in my hand. I'll make sure I do what's right with it. Man, he who is faithful in a very little thing is faithful also in a much. That's why I said, I know I can give you more because you're making sure you're managing what you already have. Somebody say, money is something the Most High has entrusted to us. He got wealth stored up and laid up for you, just waiting on your obedience. Man, somebody say it's just waiting on your obedience. Man, it's just, so the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. So how long has it been laid up? It's been laid up since he said it. But when is the transfer going to take place? When you walk in obedience and he can trust you with the little? I trust you that you're going to do the right thing. That you're not going to see that sale and take what belongs to me. And then you say, I'll make it up the next week. And you've been making it up for years. Come on, somebody. Somebody say, you got to be faithful. Somebody say, you got to do the right thing right away. Because how many people know when you contemplate, that's not a good thing? Let's just think about the times in the natural where you said, you know what, I don't think, wait a minute, maybe just. Number two, it's a tool. Somebody holler, it's a tool. He expects that we will use it to further his kingdom here on earth. Using it as best we can to reveal his glory, to relate his gospel to those around the world. Y'all don't know it, but last Sunday, we was able to take care of over 500 plus people. We fed everybody. Nobody didn't go without eating other than the people that was working. But how many people was cool? I was cool with that. I got pleasure. I like Ellis' post. He said, nothing makes me smile more than when I'm blessing other people. And he had a big old grill with chicken on it. I don't know what some of those people were saying. They were speaking Spanish, but I can tell you what a smile is saying. Somebody said, smile is saying, well done. Y'all ain't going to help me. We ran out of book bags. We only ran out, it was 8 people, or 13 people, I think. 13 that didn't get book bags. Did y'all take them to them this week? They got a couple more left, but we made sure right away, we made sure nobody was left unserved. Man, it's a tool, man. Like, you don't believe it, but you don't know what that meant to somebody. Most of y'all don't know. You've been talking about, I want to help people. Sunday, you could have helped people. Because there were people there that were displaced from Puerto Rico that had nothing. My friend Isabel sent them over from my bureau, and we was able to help people that are here that don't have nothing. They lost their homes, they lost everything. They're displaced here. Man, listen, it was the most beautiful thing ever. And then we was able to entertain them in ways that some of them had never rode a horse before. Never mind. So you're like, well, what is our church doing? Listen, with this little bit that we got, we was able to take care of a whole lot of people. And I'm telling you right now, Dominion Center, he about to give us some more. I'm going to talk to somebody. Somebody say more. Now listen, he got to give you more so we can do more. So that means you got to understand what you have belongs to him. I need somebody that's going to do the right thing. Say, Lord, you can trust me with more. What? My back, my feet, my neck, everything was hurting, but it was a good hurt. Me and my wife, we was talking and smiling so hard. And when she woke up in the morning, the first thing she talked about, she said, I was a little tired. I don't never sleep past 7. She said, but I'm telling you, I can't wait till next year. She said, I can't wait till what we're going to do Thanksgiving. She's excited about giving. You should be excited about giving. You should be excited about it because there's a supernatural return that is connected to it that'll change your life and the life of other people. Somebody holler, it's a tool. To the one who is spiritual minded, money is never something that should be an end unto itself, but rather it's merely a tool, something that is used to accomplish a greater good. That's why Deuteronomy 18 and 19 talks about it, how he gives you the power, or the word power is translated ability to get wealth. And it's not for you as much as it is so he can establish his covenant in the earth. Y'all ain't saying nothing. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee the power, the ability to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto his fathers, as it is to this day. Even when you study the life of Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, when you study his life, it took money to preserve ministry. I'll give it to you. How many people remember, my God in heaven, how many people remember the woman with the alabaster box? When the woman with the alabaster box came and she broke that box and she took that ointment or nard, which is literally embalming fluid, and the scripture says it was worth a year's salary. The disciples was like hot, like, yo, she just wasting that, man. It don't make no sense. You know, and Jesus rebukes them. Let me tell you how powerful it is. Somebody say Jesus is the body of Christ personified. The revelation is that this woman took what was worth a year's salary and she anointed him for his burial. When he showed up before Pilate, the reason why he didn't say nothing, he came ready to die. He was already smelling like death. In other words, the revelation is it's going to take money to preserve the body of Christ. We should be doing more. We can't do more if you don't do more. Matter of fact, if you're faithful in the little, we can do much. That didn't go too well right there. Here you go. I'm telling you what the word is trying to tell you. Listen. How many people in here? Listen, if you got $10 and I got $10 and Natalie got $10 and we need $1,000. If we had 100 people with $10, wouldn't it be easier to do the $1,000 than it would us trying? Listen, you can do much more with everybody. It's called synergy. The whole concept of synergy is the whole is better than a part. When we all work, listen, when we all working together, we could do great things. Man, did you listen? 500 plus people in the park coming and going. And listen, without us being prepared for that few, that number, we was thinking more like 200 or 300. And I mean, listen, and they just was coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. And I was getting more excited because I said, me and my wife talked, this is what we've been saying for years. We wanted it to be. And we see that the Most High is fulfilling it and making it be what it's going to be. And I'm telling you right now, you may not see it right now, but see, one plants, another water. God makes the increase. The increase is coming, but he needs folk that's going to plant and folk that's going to water, folk that's going to give their time, that's going to give their talent, that's going to give their treasure, and watch what he do. I'm telling you, we are on the precipice of something big, Dominion Center. It don't feel like it, but don't you go by how you feel. We're on the precipice of something big. It don't look like it, but don't go by how it looks. You got to understand the process is necessary because it is at that point that our faith is proven. See, faith is not faith until you go through something and you go through with the right attitude and the right mindset. Am I talking to the right people? What you need to do is understand real faith shouts in storms. Real faith praises in storms. Because real faith knows it has to rain in order for the harvest to magnify, to grow, to increase. So when you start going through pure hell, just come on and praise him for the rain because he's going to use that situation to, man, I got it. Did I say it's a tool? I got to roll up out of here. Watch this. Like a rope thrown into the water to save someone drowning, the rope is not what is of real value. The rope is not of what's of real value. What is of real value? Is it the rope or is it the person? Come on, man. I'll say it again. Like a rope thrown in the water to save someone from drowning, the rope is not what is of real value. What is of real value? Right? The person. The life being saved is what's of real value. So it is with money. It has value, but only to the degree that it is used properly. Only to the degree that it is used to further the kingdom. The money is not where the real value at. The money is just a tool. The real value is the people. Man, the real value is the people. That's why when I was a kid, my stepdad, he always fixed everything we went through with money, or at least he thought. But that didn't fix anything. As a grown man, we had to sit down because I still had issues. The money didn't fix it. The conversation. He was like, well, you know I loved you. I always gave you money. I said, man, I ain't care nothing about that money. I mean, I still went and bought the shell toes. I still bought the suede Adidas in blue, burgundy. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I still had all the Pumas. But you and I had nothing of value. So the money is not the value. When you tell your children, I'm working so you can have some stuff, they don't need you to do all that work. They need you. My son's man, listen, one time I was preaching in New Haven, Connecticut. I think it was me, Travell, and Jabari in New Haven. And we were going back to the hotel. Y'all probably remember this. And I said, man, we got to go. It was about 3 a.m. We had preached, hung out, everything. I said, we got to go. They said, we didn't even get no sleep. I said, man, get an hour or something, but we got to go. I said, because my son got a game at 8 a.m. And I don't miss his games. I don't miss none of their games. We got to go. And we got to drive, and Travell probably remember this. It was raining. I mean, it was crazy. And I said, don't worry, keep driving. I said, Father, just like you held up the sun and the moon for Joshua. Think it's a game if you want to. I said, just like you held up the sun and the moon. You remember this? I said, just like you held up the sun and the moon for Joshua, you got to hold up the rain. I got to go see my son. Travell will tell you that thing stopped. He said, wait a minute. Now, this is crazy. I said, man, you can ask anything. He said, whosoever asking whatsoever shall have what they. Come on, man. Mark 11:23. So guess what? If Jesus can speak to the winds and tell them peace be still, he was trying to teach the disciples the same thing. I said, Father, I got to make it to my son. They probably don't remember this. We drove all night long. We went and dropped him off, and I took off, and I went out there, and Rodney was in layup line. I just walked up in. And know what he said to me? He said, I knew you was coming. Y'all ain't going to help me. Somebody say, I know he's going to show up. Because it ain't about the money, it's about me. And just like a natural father will show up for his son and drive all night long, how many people know he ain't got to drive all night long? He just looking for somebody that got faith in the earth. He says the eyes of the Lord go to and fro looking throughout the earth to them to show himself strong. Look at somebody say he going to show up and he going to show up on time. I'm trying to, listen, I could use the money, but I wouldn't even, when basketball season come, I won't take no preaching engagements. I ain't missing none of their games. I ain't missing faith games. I ain't missing their game. Y'all ain't gonna help me. I ain't missing no dance recitals. I ain't missing no school plays that I fight to stay awake in. I ain't missing nothing. Because when they get older, I want them to know my daddy loved me. Keisha, tell them. They was cheerleading for Southwest. I was trying to go to church. I'll go get some cheerleading and go get some church. But I'm trying to tell you, they're going to see daddy in the building. Jasmine was cheerleading at East. I was going to the games. And when she stopped cheerleading, I stopped going to the games. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Y'all ain't going to talk to me in here. I wish I had 3 people. And the same thing, my grandkids, when they want to do something, they want to go somewhere, we want to go to wrestling. We going to wrestling. Amir and I want the best seats. We getting the best seats. He said, because I'm short and I need to see what's going on. No, he didn't say that. But my kids will tell you, when they was little, they wanted to go to wrestling. Man, I found a way to put them in the best seats. I remember one time I don't know who I had on. I had like 2 people on my shoulder. Can y'all see? We can't see, Daddy. I said, we ain't never getting floor seats again. Everybody standing up, we can't see nothing. When we first got to the seats, so he's like, oh my God, these are great seats. Yeah. And then they stood up, was like, oh my God. I was standing on a chair holding 3 boys up like this, and the other had the girl standing on. Come on, we gotta see. And the Rock came out. When they heard, if you smell what the Rock is cooking, they was going. I said, we can't see. We can't see the Rock. Almost $1,000 what he's seated. We can't even see him. We can hear him, but we couldn't see him. Somebody say it's a tool.
It's a tool.
But it's not what holds value. Amen. Don't think throwing money at your kids going to fix stuff. You got to spend time with them. You got to spend time with them. My nephew now, same thing. He my nephew, but I'm at his football games. I want to know there's a man that loves you. I don't want you to ever grow up and feel like I didn't know. I'm right there, whether you terrible or not. Because my uncle used to do it, man. Even when I went to college, I was like, when I get to college, he ain't going to do that. He ain't going to drive all over the place. Man, we was playing in Pennsylvania, and he went to work and everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm down here by myself. He brought the whole Thurston Road to Pennsylvania with him. We knew it because they was the loudest thing walking. What up? They were saying, I was like, hey, man, this is a Christian school. I don't give a mother. That's my dude right there. You better ball out up in this mother. I was like, yeah, I'm about to ball out. He spent the money for the gas, the money for the hotel. The money's just a tool. It's just a tool. My sons and them used to make me mad because the whole AAU season, I would have 3 or 4 credit cards charged up, going all over the place to make sure they can play. They don't play at summer everywhere. I'd be like, they're going to have to, Visa, you're going to have to get this later. Somebody say it's just a tool. The greatest thing in the world. I got a video that they caught when Travion won his first sectional title. Everybody's celebrating. He comes running across the war memorial. Can't beat that. Your son just won a title, and the only thing he thinking about is getting to his daddy. Man, never mind. Y'all don't know nothing about, man, that thing, I was like, ugh. Let me give you some more. Let me tell you some more. Somebody say it's just a tool, man. Listen. Rodney, he scored his first 1,000 points. Oh, he ain't scored more than one. He had 1,700, but I said first like he had another 1,000. But he should have. If he'd have made all his free throws and made some of them layups back, no, sorry. Okay, I digress. Same thing. He scores his 1,000 point. He's running down the court, and he goes to the crowd and runs up to me and hugs me and said, "Thank you for being hard on me." Tyler plays at Fredonia. I went up to Buff State to watch him play last year. When I walked in the door, he's sitting over there with the coach. He said, "My daddy here." Bruh, the game is going on. Stop that. You don't do that. He said, "My dad, you see my..." They was looking at him like, "Bruh, really?" He was like, I was like, "Would you stop?" And for those of us who looked up in stands and looked out in crowds and didn't see your parents, you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all ain't saying nothing. Don't be so caught up in getting money that you forget that it's just a tool. Don't be so caught up in holding on to your money and not giving in ministry because it's just a tool. It's really about people. That didn't go too. Number 3, it's a test. I got to hurry up. My God in heaven. Somebody say it's a test. The Most High often gives us something of lesser value to see if we can be trusted with something of greater value. If he cannot trust us with something as fleeting as money, why should he trust us with spiritual things or of eternal value? If he cannot trust us to make good decisions with the small amount of money that we have, it stands to reason that we cannot be trusted with the large amount of money that we want. In actuality, the large amount is connected to how you handle the small. It's real simple. You take care of the little, he's going to give you more. And just for the record, the Most High can give you as much money as he wants to give you, and he can leave you with as little money as he wants to leave you with either. What I mean by that is, all of it is contingent on your choices and decision. If you want more, take care of the little you got. Remember Luke 16:13, no man can serve two masters, for either he hates the one, love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. When you have an improper relationship with money, you're already saying and telling who is and what is your God. We're going to take up an offering. Oh, my God. You coming to the party this week? Yeah, I got to get my hair done. We showed you those videos where that hair is offered up to Hindu gods. Showed you how, we showed you the video of those ladies breaking in to the store to steal weave. Y'all remember we showed you the one lady that bust through the ceiling? Y'all remember that? Yes. Bust through the ceiling to get the weave. Man, that got to be demonic. Is it that serious? She came out the ceiling like Spider-Man. Then her friend came through and she didn't fall right and hit the rack. She's like, "Ah." Ah. Ain't no sense of having broke ribs and not have your hair tight. Ah. Black women, y'all getting ridiculous. I can't go nowhere with my hair like this. If you fall out and die, everybody gonna see how your hair look. But some of y'all so powerful about that hair, you might come back from the dead and say, "Don't you look at my..." Women beating their brains out. What you doing? Oh, I can't mess it. This got to last. Romans 6. I'm sorry. That you know, I'm from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So some of y'all laughing because you be going. Man, the first time I seen it, I was like, why are you doing that? And I saw my friend, he had braids he did. I said, now you don't, that don't look right. I said, you dig in there and get that. Romans 6:16, New Living Translation. Y'all all right? I ain't telling you to get your hair done. I'm just saying you should not have anything in your possession that you will spend more money on, but you won't give and sow in ministry. You got $200 shoes on. You got, you know. Never mind. You trying to get you some red bottoms, you better be worried about the blood. Look what it says. Do you realize that you become the slave of whatever you choose to obey? That's why the scripture says the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, the love of it. The wrong relationship with money. Are you here? You can be a slave to sin, which leads to death, or you can choose to obey God, which leads to what? Righteous living. Are you here? Hello? That didn't go too well. Number 4, am I on 4? It's a thermometer. So number 1 is number 2 is number 3 is number 4 is it's a thermometer. A thermometer is a measuring tool which lets us know whether something is hot or cold. And some of us in the church, we've gotten to the place where we're like the Laodicean church, we're lukewarm. He said, I would rather you in Revelation 3:15 and 16, he said, I would rather you be hot or cold, but not lukewarm. So lukewarm is equivalent to straddling the fence. He's saying, I want you to be on one side of the fence, but don't you straddle the fence. Jesus said, you know, Peter, you love me? He says, yeah, I love you. He says, you love me? Yeah, I love you. Well, keep my commandments. Obey my word. Jesus also said, why do you call me Lord, Lord, if you don't do what I say or tell you to do? Most of us, we say we love the Lord, but we live by our own rules. We establish what we consider our own order. We don't never submit to his will, whether it be our time, our talent, or our treasure. We always do what we want to do, so we're going to always get what we get. You don't like what you're getting, change what you're doing. Is that simple enough? What we spend our money on reveals the truth about our spiritual lives. If you do not have excuse me. Did I mention Revelation? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm not going to quote it verbatim. 3:15 and 16, I wanted to see. So how we spend our money reveals the truth about our spiritual lives. If you do not at least, or the very least, tithe, you are not investing at all any proportion of your money into the kingdom. The Most High, he can't trust you with more. Amen. Hello? Amen. I want to make sure I say this the right way. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I want to say this. Stop it. She's going, say it. Say it. Say it. You might want me to say it, then you might not. You're like, I wish he wouldn't have said it. If you're not investing at least a portion of your money that the Most High has entrusted to you for kingdom causes, you are not growing also as a believer. And you probably need to take a long, hard look at your life through the lens of Scripture to see if you even believe at all. Because he's saying you either serve God or mammon. He's saying you don't believe. You don't see. The statement sounds harsh, but Yeshua is making it abundantly clear you cannot serve God and money. And he talks about money more than heaven or hell combined. Out of the 38 parables, he's had 16 of them where he teaches about money. So here's the thing. Yeshua thought the use of money is a thermometer, or it's a spiritual measuring point. Put up Matthew 6:19 and 21, 19 through 21. Somebody say it's a spiritual measuring point. It got quiet. Somebody say it's a spiritual measuring point.
It's a spiritual measuring point.
So watch this. Watch this, and I got to go. It says, lay up not for yourself treasures upon the earth where moth and rust does corrupt and where thieves break through and what? Keep going. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust does corrupt and where thieves do not break through nor what? Next verse. For where your treasure is, he's saying if you want to know the temperature of a person's heart, what do they do with their treasure? Because where their treasure is, there will their heart be also. I got a friend who called me yesterday, and he was talking to one of his family members, and he said, you remember during the Super Bowl, you was teaching about some things, and we ended up turning the TV off during the Super Bowl, and halftime, we didn't watch the halftime show, and we didn't even come back to the game. He said, with all the things you taught and you went through all the scriptures, he says, why do people still, why would somebody go, and Anthony, you a rapper, Travell, you a rapper, and you told me one time that the Holy Spirit has been dealing with you about getting away from the whole hip-hop piece and everything right there because it's demonic. And, he got some powerful stuff that he teaches about it. You got to get, when you get a chance, we got to let y'all hear it. But I saw your post, and I guess, I don't know why you posted it. Maybe somebody was asking you about it, but you was very clear. It's like, there's no way I'm going to go be a part of that blasphemy. Church in the wild. Never mind. No church in the wild, excuse me. Then you got people in the church, they having meetings, and they're using and flipping it. The reason why I said church in the wild, I seen a church rapper flipping and said church in the wild. Don't take something secular and try to make it, never mind. You got Kanye West, he calls himself Yeezy, which is he's calling himself Yeshua. He's calling himself Jesus. Y'all okay with that? Beyonce went from I'm a survivor and I'm not going to compromise my Christianity. Christianity ain't nothing but a compromise. Now, some of y'all have to know what we've taught on this to understand that. There's nowhere in Scripture that the Most High referred to us as Christians. Christianity is an institution that is birthed out of Catholicism. And in Daniel chapter 7, it talks about it in the 25th verse, how that system has come to frustrate the saints. That same system is referred to as the whore in Revelation. And in chapter 18, he talks about not knowing her or being intimate with that whore, or you'll receive her plagues and her diseases. Yes. You got to be careful what you let Beyonce sing and dance into your ear and your eye gate. One video, I can't remember the name of it, she gets blown up in the car and then she's reborn. It's all kind of demonic stuff going on in there. And she's not reborn by the Spirit. Never mind. Let me just, but you know what? I love me some. Don't you think that it's ridiculous that you can know that these people are worshiping Satan? They're Luciferian. Jay-Z is a follower of Aleister Crowley. Do what thou wilt. The man is telling y'all, I am a follower of a satanic priest, Aleister Crowley. And you knowingly support Satan's ministry. Look how some of y'all looking. Listen, this ain't new information. It's been out for a while. All right. Well, ain't no New Testament teaching on tithing. Yes, it is. Somebody say, oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I got a person I went to college with. He's a preacher. And we got into this discussion. And he teaches tithing. He don't tithe. He says, well, I feel like because I give my life and my ministry to the Father, then that's me giving all. I said, bruh, Get out my face. Because it's about to get real up in here. I said, okay, stewardship is a belief that reveals itself. You can't teach people something you don't do. You telling your kids, when you get your check, tithe. You don't tithe. Stewardship is a belief that reveals itself. You should have wrote that down and then go stick it on your refrigerator. Stewardship is a belief that reveals itself. You can't tell your kids, grow up. My mom used to tell me that when they were growing up, most of the churches in the city were neighborhood churches. So they didn't have parking lots because people walked to them. And she said it was common that parents sent their kids every week to Sunday school. Sent their kids to Sunday school. You got to love God with all your heart, baby. You don't. Never mind. Listen. that ain't. Y'all shout. Y'all gonna shout? One thing I've learned, Ellis, there's always been and there's going to always be people that have a problem with truth. And what they'll do is, so that they don't direct it towards the Most High, it'll be me. All he talking about is money. I don't care. I don't been called you ain't called me enough things that I ain't already been called. Get your stuff together and call me a whole bunch. That's okay. When you are in ministry, you accept you're going to be called a whole bunch of things. Now, there was times there was some stuff that was said I was going, now come on now. Come on. That ain't right. I find out from other people. They'd be like, so I heard that I said I did. My own daddy lied on me one time. Just straight truth. He told a woman he couldn't come to her graduation because he had to go see her son. He was in a car accident. He didn't know the lady knew my wife, so she went up to the hair salon and said, is your husband all right? I heard he was in a car accident. And she said, my husband is at Atlanta in a conference. She called me up, you been in a car accident? No, I'm in church. Just lying. I could tell you some other lies that people told. Man, woe unto you when men speak. When everybody like you, that's a problem. When it comes to the gospel, people shouldn't be comfortable if you preaching truth. Watch this. Stewardship, say it again. Say stewardship, and we almost out of here. Is a belief that reveals itself. Not tithing is just as much of a cop-out as the Pharisees when he teaches in Matthew 15, 5-6. Real quick, and we got to go. Good God Almighty. I got to finish it up Wednesday. Y'all ready? But I say, whosoever should say to, that ain't. No, we good. Let me read it first. But ye say, whosoever should say to his father or his mother, it is a gift by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me. Next verse. Do you want him or do you want the fame? Do you want the money? You're going to have to make a decision. Some of y'all are making choices that you don't realize that are already taking you down roads you don't want to go. Some of us, like myself, we got family members that's doing enchantments. Come on, man. Come on, man. Some of y'all, I'm praying for you because your kids are caught up in stuff they don't even realize what they caught up in. Y'all know that kids are, this industry is so corrupt and the spirit behind it is so strong. Do you know that there's kids in middle school having sex in the hallways? Say it again. Don't care if the camera's on. My son was in 7th grade. A girl walked up to him and asked him, can I give you oral sex? He came home. He was like, he was like, I didn't know what did you? I said, you lying. Let me go up to this school. The guy said, sad to say, sir, but this is what's going on. What? When I was in school, if you was a 7th grader and a senior caught you doing something like that, they would beat your behind up in that school. But now we got the seniors messing with 7th graders. This world is corrupt. It's going crazy. We got to make sure our time, our talent, and our treasure is given to him. Are you here? Are you here? All the music, all they talking about is money. Sex. Promoting drug use. When I was coming up, wasn't no rapper talking about taking no Molly or popping or smoking or doing nothing. Y'all ain't going. We was talking about my Adidas. My radio, believe me, I like it loud. Now, you got to understand this is an industry that is influencing the whole culture. It is demonic, and it is demonically supported by people that are demonic.